الله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج وليس البر بأن تأتوا البيوت من ظهورها ولكن البر من اتقى وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون. وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم ولا تعتدوا إن الله لا يحب المعتدين. واقتلوهم حيث ثقفتموهم وأخرجوهم من حيث أخرجوكم والفتنة أشد من القتل ولا تقاتلوهم عند المسجد الحرام حتى يقاتلوكم فيه فإن قاتلوكم فاقتلوهم كذلك جزاء الكافرين. فإن انتهوا فإن الله غفور رحيم. وقاتلوهم حتى لا تكون فتنة ويكون الدين لله فإن انتهوا فلا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. صدق الله العظيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم ربنا ألهمنا رشدنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى فتقبل منا فإنك خير المتقبلين. آمين يا رب العالمين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tonight we are proceeding with the 24th section of Surah Al-Baqarah. As I have told you more than one times, this Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the biggest and the greatest surah of the Quran, is divisible into two parts. First part comprising of 18 sections or 152 ayat, in which the main address was to the Bani Israel, to the former Muslim Ummah. The second part that started from the 19th section, and this will go on till the end of the surah. In this part, only a very brief reference was in the 19th section to the Jews, and then in the 20th section there was some reference to the pagan Arabs, to the idolaters of Arabia. Rest of the whole surah is addressed now towards the Muslims, the Muslim Ummah. And there are four threads of subjects or topics which are interwoven, wound round each other. That is why we feel they are broken, but they are not broken. Actually, the threads are continuous. The four threads are two concerning the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And here we'll find that the blueprint of the Sharia of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the divine law of Islam, that is prepared in this part of the surah. But the Sharia contains two parts. Firstly, ibadat, modes of worship. We'll find a brief reference to prayers, salah, then the detailed discussion about Psalm we have studied last night. Today we are going to study a very detailed discussion about Hajj and its rites and rituals. The second is muamalat, the social affairs of the community. A few references have already come regarding the law of equitable retribution in cases of murder, regarding, inheritance, the preliminary instruction about inheritance, and so on. But now you will see in the sections that we will be studying today, repeatedly, the ayat will start, Yasalunak, Yasalunak, Yasalunak. O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they are asking you. They are asking you about the orphans. They are asking you about wine. They are asking you about gambling. They are asking you about the menstruation, the period of women, etc., etc. Because, now it was a society of the Muslims, their own society. And now, all the rules and regulations are being given. And there was an urge in the people themselves to know what we should do. So question after question, and we shall be getting the answers. The other two strands or threads of the topics, they are the two aspects of jihad fi sabilillah. And here we find that the jihad now has converted into qital. For 12 long years at Makkah it was jihad. It was not an armed conflict. It was jihad bil Quran. وَجَاهِدْهُمْ بِهِ جِهَادًا كَبِيرًا. But now, this jihad has turned into qital. Going to war for the cause of Allah. Fighting the kuffar who were obstructing the way of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So qital fi sabilillah. And for qital you always need funds, money. Because for the armor also and all the other needs for going to war, you need, money. So infaq fi sabilillah. These two strands, qital fi sabilillah, infaq fi sabilillah. And these four strands are wound round each other or interwoven, and we shall find that once one subject is discussed, then the second one, then the third one, then the fourth one, and so on. So they seem to be interrupted, but actually they are continuous. يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. Here, the same question. They are asking you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, about the new moons. قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ. Tell them, they are for reckoning the periods of times for the people. This is the calendar, the natural calendar that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to whole of humanity. Citing the moon, you can see whether half of the month has passed or the third of the month has passed. So it is actually the natural calendar that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided. Yes, قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ. And especially because Hajj was the most important phenomenon in Arabia. And it was performed in definite months, on definite dates. So this importance of the calendar was mostly for Hajj. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَنْ تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا. And this is no charity, this is no virtue, that you enter your houses from the backs. It was a wrong practice of the Arabs of Makkah, that once they took to ihram for Hajj, and they came out of their houses, now if there was some need to go back, they thought that we can't now enter our homes from the front doors. So they used to climb the hind walls and then jump into the houses. Because we are now in ihram, we can't enter our houses. So these were actually their own self-made ideas. So Quran is telling us it has no basis. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَنْ تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا. There is no virtue that you come to your houses from their backs. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقْوَى. The real virtue, the real charity of the person who has real taqwa, who is really pious, who is really God-fearing, who really wants to save him from all evil. وَاتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. No harm if you have taken to ihram, but if there is need to return to your homes, you can enter your homes through the front doors. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. But have taqwa of Allah, have regard of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that you can prosper. And now with the just mention in one ayah of Hajj, we find the discussion of qital fi sabilillah. What's the logical relationship? Hajj could be performed only at Makkah, and Makkah was under the control of the non-believers, the mushrikeen, the kuffar. So it had to be liberated. And for getting Makkah liberated from the clutches of the kuffar, Muslims had to go to war. There's no other way, no alternative, no possible method. That is why just mentioning Hajj, and then, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala switches towards qital fi sabilillah, and then, detailed discussion about Hajj will follow. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. And go to war, fight those in the cause of Allah who are fighting you. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. But don't transgress the limits of decency, the limits of morality that must be kept. There are laws in Islam. You are not free to do whatever you like to do against your enemy. You can't kill the old people, the sick people, the women. You can't burn trees. You can't burn the fields, the harvest, no. So you have to observe the rules and regulations based on moral law. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. This is the first ayah mentioning and so prescribing qital fi sabilillah to the Muslims. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. But don't transgress the limits. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Verily Allah doesn't like those who transgress the limits. وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ. Kill them wherever you find them. These are very strong words. Because actually, they had done all, persecution to the Muslims for at least 8 years. They had turned them out from Makkah. The Muslims had to leave Makkah. They had to leave their homes and hearts. They had to leave their families at the mercy of the wolves of Makkah. So actually, now the Muslims had every moral right to retaliate. Up till that time, they were stopped by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to retaliate. That's a different issue. It's the wisdom of the revolutionary process of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But now that phase has started, so don't hesitate in killing. This is necessary. Just as a surgeon, he cuts off the arm or the leg of a person because it has become venomous. If you don't chop it off, if you don't cut it off, maybe the whole body goes, So here actually, وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ. Kill them wherever you find them. وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ. And turn them out from where they have turned you out. They have turned you out from Makkah, you turn them out from Makkah. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. And fitna is worse than qatl. Why is it being said? Because there are some people, and there were some people, and there will always be some people, good-natured or weak in personality, who would say it's no good going to war, it's, shedding blood is no good. We should refrain as much as we can. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them, no. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. Fitna is worse than qatl, worse than killing or murdering. What is fitna? Fitna primarily means persecution. Because the kuffar had been persecuting the Muslims, they had been beating them. So actually now, they deserve it. Number two, every condition in which a mu'min, if he is placed in that environment, he feels difficulty to practice Islam, it is fitna. The whole system, political, socio-economic system, which is not based on Islam, which is not under the sovereignty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is fitna, it is fasad, it is rebellion against him. So وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. وَلَا تُقَاتِلُهُمْ إِنَّ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. But don't go to fight against them near the sacred mosque. You have to keep the sanctity of Baytullah. حَتَّى يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ فِيهِ. Till that time that they go to war against you near that mosque. If they themselves injure the sanctity, now then you are also free to retaliate. فَإِنْ قَاتَلُوكُمْ. If they fight against you near the sacred mosque, فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ. Then kill them there also. كَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ. Such is the reward for these kuffar, for these unbelievers, for these who are opposing the deen of Allah and the messenger of Allah and his mission. فَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا. Then if they desist, if they leave, if they change their attitude, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. That is, they also submit before Allah, submit before his messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. So Allah is forgiving and merciful. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ. Now when this phase of your struggle has started, continue this war. This war will be continuous. قَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ. Till such time that all persecution ends, all fitna is finished. And what is the second meaning of fitna which I told you, that is clear from this ayah? وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ كُلُّهُ لِلَّهِ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. What is the ending of this fitna? That the deen should become for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The whole system of life should come under the deen of Allah, under the supremacy of the divine law. That is the fitna. Unless the whole social system is under the supremacy of divine law, it is under the sovereignty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the real sovereign of this universe. Till such time, although there might be peace, apparent peace, it's fitna, it is fasad, it is rebellion against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the duty of the faithful who believe in Allah and really believe in Allah, who really believe in His Sharia, that to establish the deen of Allah and to impose the rules and regulations of the deen of Allah, they have to go to war and they have to continue their battle, their war, till that fitna is finished and till the whole system, political, socio-economic system, comes under divine law. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ فَإِنْ انْتَهَوْا فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. And then, if they desist, if they give up this opposition to the deen of Allah, then there should be no aggression against فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ, except against the unjust, against the evildoers, against the criminals. But when they give up and they surrender, then there should be no transgression against them. Ash-Shahrul Haram bi-Shahril Haram. The sacred month is for the sacred month. If they have injured the sanctity of the sacred month, just as the sacred mosque, now the sacred month, Ashharul Hurum, if they go to war against you in the sacred months, then you can also go to war against them. If they have violated the sanctity of the sacred months, well, nothing will stop you. You have to retaliate. Ashharul Haram bi-Shahril Haram. Wal Hurumatu Qisas. There should be equitable retaliation in all such sacred matters. فَمَنِ اعْتَدَى عَلَيْكُمْ فَاعْتَدُوا عَلَيْهِ بِمِثْلِ مَا اعْتَدَى عَلَيْكُمْ. If somebody is committing aggression against you, you also be aggressive against them, just in the manner in which they were aggressive upon you. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. But during all this process, never forget Allah. Always have Him in your mind and heart. Have His taqwa within your hearts. Regard Him. Think. You must always think that He is seeing you, and you are responsible. You don't break any divine law. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. And you must know and keep it in mind always that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only with the muttaqeen. That is His help. That will be only if you have taqwa. If you don't have taqwa, you can't hope for His help. وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Even during war, as I told you, you are not free to do whatever you like. No. The moral law has to be kept in mind. All the divine injunctions regarding war and battle, they have also be kept to be mind. Now the second strand of jihad fi sabilillah, here it is mentioned in only one ayah, and then you will find, gradually. And in the end of this surah there are two sections, full two sections, which are devoted to this. وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. For these battles, for this going to war, you need money, you need funds. You need arms, and arms need money. So along with your own lives and your bodies, you have to contribute your money, your wealth. وَأَنْفِقُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And expend in the cause of Allah, for the way of Allah. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. And don't throw yourself with your own hands in disaster and ruination. If you are behaving miserly with the deen of Allah, what is it? You are actually throwing yourself in the fire of hell. So don't throw yourself to the ruination and disaster of the fire of hell. If you don't pay, if you don't contribute, if you don't spend for the cause of Allah, actually you are throwing yourself as if in the fire of hell. وَأَحْسِنُوا, and do good. Your Islam should be a beautiful Islam. Inna Allah yuhibbul muhsineen. Verily, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those who do good deeds. Now again, this was an interpolation. The subject of Hajj had started, but you know, in between these injunctions regarding going to war, very important. And now all the instructions about the manasik, about the rites and rituals of Hajj, they are coming. وَأَتِمُّ الْحَجَّ وَالْعُمْرَةَ لِلَّهِ. And complete all the rites and rituals of Hajj and Umrah for Allah. Because one goes for Hajj and one goes for Umrah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of His pleasure. وَأَتِمُّ itmam, to complete. Once you have taken to ihram, once you have made the intention, now you have to complete all the rituals. فَإِنْ أُحْصِرْتُمْ. If you are obstructed, if you are prevented, somebody in the way stops you, you can't go to Makkah Mukarramah, then offer to Allah فَمَسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْحَجِّ. Then whatever sacrifice you can offer, you offer there and then, which you had to offer at Makkah. But because you have been obstructed in the way, here you know, you can offer the sacrifice. وَلَا تَحْلِقُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ الْهَدْيُ مَحِلَّهُ. And don't shave your heads unless that sacrifice has reached its place. You have to send that sacrifice towards Makkah and wait till such time that you think that the sacrifice now could have reached Makkah. That's the place of that sacrifice. Now you can shave your heads, that is, now you can finish your ihram. فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ بِهِ أَذًى مِنْ رَأْسِهِ. And then whosoever amongst you is ill or sick, and there is some ailment in his head that needs shaving, فَفِدْيَةٌ مِّن صِيَامٍ. So you have to do the redemption. That redemption can be done through keeping fasting or sadaqatin, giving alms, or nusuk, or another sacrifice. That is called dam-e jinayah, because you are contravening the law. Here you have to present a sacrifice additional. فَإِذَا أَمِنْتُمْ. And if you are in peace, now you have reached Makkah. فَمَنْ تَمَتَّعَ بِالْعُمْرَةِ إِلَى الْحَجِّ. So whosoever avails with performing Umrah before Hajj, فَمَسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْحَجِّ. He should also again present an additional qurbani, an additional sacrifice for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, this is dam-e shukr. Because before Islam, in one journey, only either Hajj could be performed or Umrah, not both. But in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easier for the Muslim Ummah. If you are performing one journey, but you can do, first you go and do Umrah, then you open your ihram, or you can continue it also, that is Hajj Qiran. And if you have opened your ihram, finished your ihram, now you are staying at Makkah as a normal citizen, then it is called Hajj Tamattu. So this additional ease that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided for you, that in one journey you can perform Umrah as well as Hajj, for that you have to present a sacrifice. فَمَسْتَيْسَرَ مِنَ الْحَجِّ فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ فَصِيَامُ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ. But there can be someone who cannot afford to pay for the sacrifice, can't purchase the goat or the sheep or so on. فَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ, who doesn't find, فَصِيَامُ ثَلَاثَةِ أَيَّامٍ فِي الْحَجِّ. Here again there is fidya, that is redemption. And that redemption is 3 days fasting during the Hajj. وَسَبْعَةٍ إِذَا رَجَعْتُمْ. And 7 more when you go back to your houses, your homes. تِلْكَ عَشَرَةٌ كَامِلَةٌ. 10 days fasting would take the place of that hadi, of that sacrifice. عَشَرَةٌ كَامِلَةٌ. ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ لَمْ يَكُنْ أَهْلُهُ حَاضِرِ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. And this is only for those people whose families are not settled near the sacred mosque, whom we call afaqi, who go from outside world to perform Hajj. But there, you know, people who are living at Makkah, they need not give this sacrifice, additional sacrifice. Wattaqullah, have regard for Allah, have fear of Allah. Wa'alamu, and keep it in mind, anna Allah shadidul iqab, that Allah is very severe in punishment. Don't contravene these laws. These laws are to be obeyed. Al-Hajju Ashhurum Ma'lumat. The months in which Hajj can be performed are very well known. فَمَنْ فَرَضَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ. So whosoever has made a firm intention that he is to perform Hajj, he should know فَلَا رَفَسَ وَلَا فُسُوقَ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. That during this period, when one is in ihram, there can be no sexual indulgence, there should be no obscenity in speech, there should be no jidal, there should be no fighting, quarreling or arguing with each other. وَمَا تَفْعَلُوا مِنْ خَيْرٍ يَعْلَمْهُ اللَّهُ. Instead of these things, you have to do good. And whatever good you do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will know it. It will not go in vain. It will be in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He will reward you. وَتَزَوَّدُوا, and have the provision with you. فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ زَادِ التَّقْوَى. And the best provision is taqwa. You have all the money with you to spend there, but there is no taqwa. To what avail? You get nothing out of it then. So you must have taqwa. The first thing, the foremost thing is taqwa. But in addition to taqwa, you must have the money to spend where you shouldn't go and beg there. Because if you don't have the money, then Hajj is not farz, not obligatory upon you. You should have your own, expenditure with you. Don't go and beg there. فَتَزَوَّدُوا, you must have the provisions with you. فَإِنَّ خَيْرَ زَادِ التَّقْوَى. And of all the provisions, the best is taqwa. That is the must. That should be the foremost. وَاتَّقُونِي يَا أُولِي الْأَلْبَابِ. O people of understanding, have my taqwa. That is the last warning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَيْسَ عَلَيْكُمْ جُنَاحٌ